Democrats are also raising questions about the sudden departure of the FBI's deputy director, who has been a target of President Trump. Andrew McCabe, also a former acting director, stepped down yesterday, just weeks before his scheduled retirement. FBI sources tell CBS News it was McCabe's decision, while a Justice Department source indicates he was told to leave. The White House says the president had no part in his resignation.
CBS News Justice and Homeland Security correspondent Jeff Pegues has been following the story for us and is outside the FBI headquarters in Washington. So we know that President Trump has criticized McCabe since his work on the Clinton investigation. Vlad mentioned that he was scheduled to retire in March. Do we know anything about why he chose to step away from the post now?
Well, it seems that it may have had something to do with this impending release of this IG report, this DOJ Inspector General report that is reviewing the Clinton private email server investigation. And so McCabe was someone whose actions are being reviewed by the Inspector General. And according to this email, there was an internal email sent to the FBI workforce from FBI Director Christopher Wray, and it talked about this Inspector General report at the top of that, and then it also talked about Andrew McCabe, and it seemed to link the two. So we think that it may have had something to do with this IG report, McCabe's early departure. I mean, listen, it's only weeks away from this retirement, which was March 18th, according to the FBI. But still, it raised some questions about, well, why is this happening now? And did he make this decision on his own, or was he pushed out, or was it a combination of both? But those are questions that we're going to look into today.
Jeff, does that also mean then the early departure of Mr. McCabe makes him at least a target of interest for Robert Mueller and the special counsel?
Well, I think it's fair to say that he has been a target of interest for the special counsel. And I say that because when FBI Director at the time, James Comey, was meeting with the president at the White House. Remember, the president invited Comey over to the White House, and they talked about, according to Comey, dropping the Flynn investigation. Well, after those meetings between Comey and the president, Comey ran back here to FBI headquarters, and he was meeting with his top-level staff. And in that group was Andrew McCabe. So he was privy to some of the conversations that Comey relayed to top FBI officials, his conversations with the president. And that is something that the special counsel's office, we know, is looking into, whether there was any obstruction of justice, not only with those meetings at the White House, but also the later firing of James Comey. So, yes, McCabe has a role in that because of his conversations with Comey.
So we're hearing now that David Bowditch is replacing McCabe. What do we know about him?
Well, listen, this is someone who is a veteran FBI agent, and I was told by people who've worked in the Bureau that he's an agent's agent, meaning that he is someone who's risen through the ranks. The public may recognize the name Bowditch because he led the FBI's investigation into the San Bernardino terrorist attack in 2015. So this is someone who is experienced. This is someone who has risen through the ranks of the FBI, and he will be, at this time, taking over the duties of Andrew McCabe.
You know, when I hear risen through the FBI, an agent's agent, I feel like that's what's been said about a number of prominent FBI officials, and they haven't survived.
Well, and that's the question I had for you, Jeff, to wrap this up, which is the president's attack, Republicans' attack on the FBI, our nation's premier law enforcement agency, to these agents that have, in many cases, devoted their life to public service. Now you've got another one, as Anne-Marie pointed out, who's an agent's agent rising to the top. How does that play out with the White House? In a White House that seems conflicted about the role of the FBI and seems, at least through the President of the United States, to attack the agency at any turn.
Well, everyone here inside the Bureau, they know that they are under the microscope right now, and really that has been the case for the last year or so. But they've come to expect this next shoe to drop, and there will be more to come. And I think there are people inside the Bureau who are concerned about that. But they're also concerned about the toll that this is taking on top-level staff at the FBI. These are people who, many of whom have risen through the ranks here. They are well-known, and even Andrew McCabe, despite the criticism that he was facing on the outside, he was well-respected within the Bureau. And so there are people in the Bureau right now who are, nervous about how this is all unfolding, but they will tell you that they continue to do their jobs.
Indeed, and we threw up a tweet from former FBI Director James Comey when we were talking to you, Jeff, and paraphrasing at the end, he continues to implore the FBI to go about their business, saying America needs you. Jeff Pegues in Washington, as always, Jeff, thank you very much.